Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Diaries of Badass Bosses. I'm Penny Joyner-Platt.
And I am Tigz Rice.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
Oh, well, I feel overwhelmed at the moment. Yeah, I definitely feel there's a lot on. It's getting so much done, but it's just there's just a lot, and then there's also a lot of family stuff right now because we're obviously coming up to that Christmas period, and my little boy Freddie's school, they are amazing. I mean, I love this school so much. Little shout out to Fairfield Park Lower School. They are just wonderful, but they do so much. Like it's incredible. Like I swear they message me about 6 times a day with all manner of different things, from like the Christmas fair and the nativity and organising costumes and you name it. It's great and I love it, and they are very organised, but it's being the first year of school, it's all new to me.
And kids have such busy social lives.
Oh God, they are like, I mean, he's got birthday parties. We're at soft play birthday parties. We've got, you name it. It's just, Christmas lights switch on, which there feels like there's every road has a Christmas light switch.
I've missed this.
It is really cute, actually. Yeah, we had our Christmas light switch on last week.
How did it go?
It was very cute. I have to say, it was the first one we've ever done in our road. And they donated the tree, the property management company, and they set up like a little stall for like pancakes and crepes and stuff, and we had a brass band.
Oh my goodness.
It was really, honestly, it was very, very well done. I was very impressed, actually. And it was literally just over the road from our house. So even
in that little
the park. Yeah. So it was super sweet, and but
oh my gosh,
I have to say it was a little bit of an anticlimax.
Oh my God.
When the lights came on.
Was it?
So sorry, but it was like, I feel like
one string of lights.
It was one string that had been wrapped around, and it was like they could have got us another string. It's just like so maybe I might go and buy one. And
spent less on the brass bands and a little bit more on the fairy lights.
Yeah, and then the funny thing was, actually, I left the house yesterday. It was at night time, and only half of the tree was lit, so it's already broken after a few days. So maybe like a note to the property management team: if you could add another string that works, that would be great. But yes,
do you know what? I haven't really lent into it. Like, I've just been so busy lately. I haven't really lent into Christmas. But there is a tree. It's in like a farmer's field going up the A1 between Nebworth, Stevenage Way.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. And like, because
very pink. It's very on brand for Diaries of Badass Bosses. It should be our tree.
And I think it's the only tree that I've actually seen with lights on yet. Like, and I keep going past it, sort of driving past it like 4 or 5 o'clock when it's dark, going, oh my God, that tree looks amazing. So I'm getting my fix.
Yeah. No, I mean, our tree's already up in our house. We did it.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we've got a reindeer outside and a penguin. Oh yeah, no, we go big for Christmas in our house. I love it.
We so we had to get rid of our tree. We had a like one of those fake trees that has come in and out of the box for like years, and it gave up. Like, I think it's seen one too many Christmases. And we were looking this year and we're like, we really need to do something Christmassy around the house, but we've got nowhere to put a tree after we renovated. So we have a Christmas Lego display.
Of course, you've got a Lego.
So our little coffee table has the Main Street track, the train track, and it's got the Main Street tram that's all Christmassy with the wreaths on. And then we've got lots of little Lego mini snowy buildings. I need a photo.
I need to see this. This is
So a shout out to Lego for keeping me busy with building bricks. But one of the figures. One of the figures comes with a mini portaloo that's got snow on. So part of the Christmas part of our Christmas display is this like snowy outhouse.
Brilliant. I love it. That is fantastic. Is your tree up yet, Connor?
Yes, my Christmas tree is up because I go on holiday next week. So we're like, we might as well.
Who signed that off? Hang on a second.
HR. Holiday? I spoke to HR. It's fine. It's fine. I've had a word with HR. They've approved it.
Is HR yourself?
Yes. HR is me.
I know I definitely didn't approve any holiday.
No. Our tree's up because we're like, we'll have to put it up before we go away. Otherwise, it's only going to be up for like a couple of weeks in December. So yeah, that's all up.
Yeah, because it's a lot of work, so you've got to get your time out of it. Like, that's how I see it.
It's a mission. It's an assignment.
It is. I mean, my poor boys, like, obviously wanted to get involved, but my creative OCD of my perfect tree, I was just like, yeah, that's lovely. And then as soon as they went to bed, I just rearranged it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I've got this bright blue ball with a donkey on it from Corfu, and Vic won't let me put it on the front of the tree. That's one of the ones that goes around the back of the tree.
Do you know what? My Chris actually just...
Donkeys are Donkeys are Christmas.
Chris went and bought... I remember we had a tree when we first got together, and we each picked like a bauble. I kept putting his round the back as well because he was hideous.
So we have I'm very OCD about Christmas as well. I mean, I say this not having a tree this year, but our tree has always been immaculately decorated, but we have this one decoration that does not match anything. And so when we eloped, and by the way, if you've got small kids listening to this, maybe just tune us out for listen to this later. But at our wedding, our photographer and we had a humanist celebrant at the wedding. They'd been driving down to the ceremony together. They were having this proper giggle, and they'd been talking about safe words, and they'd agreed that their safe word would be watermelon. And so there was this entire theme of watermelons throughout the entire day, everyone just laughing their head off about safe words. And the Christmas after we got married, Claire, our wonderful celebrant, sent us a watermelon. It's neon almost and glittery, and like my tree is normally like soft fluffy robins made of feathers and like really just like neutral colours, and there's smack bang in the middle of it there is this bright like eye drawing in watermelon that we have to put on the tree because it's so funny. So yeah, I don't know what we're going to do, but it's going to have to go somewhere in the house.
You've got to find somewhere. Definitely. The watermelon needs to come out of the box. It needs to be on display in some form or another, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think whether it's this time of year or whether in general, the work-life balance question comes up.
Yes.
Because I think, especially when you work for yourself, you know, you want to kind of have the benefit, because it's a lot of hard work to work for yourself. You wear so many hats, and, you know, you really do, you know, the pressure's on because it's just you, and, you know, you kind of have to do a hell of a lot more than when you work for somebody, I feel. Yeah. But the reason that you do that and you go through all that is to have the benefit of work-life balance. And so I feel like it's a good topic for us today to talk about work-life balance, and maybe give you, you know, some pointers and stuff on like what we do with our work-life balance. Because sometimes it can run away with you, I think. Yeah,
and work-life balance is something that we've asked so many of our podcast guests about over the last, 6 months. And every time the work-life balance comes up, there's like a laugh or a snort or a
lot of people go, "What life balance?" I think is usually the response.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things that we've commented on a lot of like, what does work-life balance actually look like for someone who is self-employed? Because I think there is a well-known narrative of what work-life balance looks like when you work in a company and you have set hours, and, you know, you work X number of hours, you're only paid for X number of hours, so potentially like it's easier to walk away.
No.
But
no. I had the polar opposite experience.
But that is the narrative that that is put out there. Like, and you're right, especially in PR, like, oh my God. But we're sort of fed this narrative of you work a 9 to 5 or a 9:30 to 6 or whatever your hours are, and then you walk away. But, you know, and yes, that's not obviously possible in every job, but especially when you're self-employed and you work for yourself, it's so hard to switch off. So looking at ways that we do try and at least not let it control every moment of our waking hours. sometimes evenings as well. Like sometimes my brain doesn't switch off at night. I was saying that to you guys earlier, actually, like this week, because I've got so much on, I'm getting into bed and my brain's just like, okay, here's a list of 10 other things to do. So how do you work around your work-life balance? What does that potentially look like for you?
I think what happened to me though was because of the change and the shift from agency life into working for myself was so different that actually and then having kids as well, it was, if anything, I really did make a concerted effort to have more family time than anything at that point, because obviously the kids are only going to be young for so long, and then they're at school, and everyone does tell you, make the most of it, enjoy this time. So I've really listened to that, if I'm honest. And you know, I kind of, now that Freddie's at school, I have my Ollie days, as I call them, Mummy and Ollie days, and they're like a Monday and a Thursday. And I make a point of always going and doing something with him. I mean, a lot of it involves cake.
I love that. I love that.
Because this boy loves cake. But it's just something for me that I've been able to, I think as long as you're transparent with clients and they know that what your schedule is and they understand I'm a mum, I think a lot of people now are much more understanding as well, actually. I think, especially since COVID, it's given people the understanding to be more flexible. I think the mental health conversation has been so topical as well. And I think, you know, I had my own struggles, you know, especially after having both the boys, with my own mental health, that again, I wanted to make sure I was making that time. And I think you've been a big influence on me with that stuff as well. Like, you know, I've seen how you've started to structure your time, you know, giving yourself that Friday, or even, you know, when you were saying, you know, you're giving that Friday for you and James as well. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And that's why I've kind of said, if it is a Mum and Ollie day.
Yeah, because I don't call you on a Monday. I will not call you before lunchtime.
And it's kind of like, that's now like a thing. And I don't feel the need to come back to people. I used to always come back, because to me, I was like, that's best customer service I can give people, and always be there for them. And that was also agency life. One thing I will do though is I will always send a holding email if it's a case of like, just so because that's my biggest pet hate, is when people don't respond. If it's fine if you're busy, but just at least send like a reply to be like, I've got your email, I'll come back to it tomorrow, or I'm going to be working on that tonight, or just something, just to acknowledge it. But that agency life taught me that, was like, just let your client know you're there. You know, don't ignore them. Don't, you know, so that would be one of my biggest tips to anybody that has a service-based business, or any type of business. But if it is that people are emailing you, do always just send a little, I've acknowledged, you know, I've got this email, I'll be looking at it for you, type thing. Because I think that then gives you that time, gives them transparency of like, you know, they can't get to it right now. Because I worked in crisis comms as well, I think my immediate thing is like, I have to respond to everything now. And I've understood that, actually not everything needs to be done right away. So so I've kind of been working hard to manage the expectations of anybody that I work with or for. And the coaching side of it's an interesting one, because obviously I have WhatsApp groups with my clients individually. Obviously not all together.
Oh my God.
That'd be one noisy group. But that is something I have to set boundaries on as well. So again, that balance of kind of like, I'm not always available. Like, you know.
I think you're quite good at that though. Like, I would say after seven, like, I know obviously you've got like the boys routine and whatnot, but I would say after about 7:30, you're very good at being like, it's evening. Like, so I never expect a response from you. I mean, also I again, I probably at that point wouldn't message you either, unless it said, one of the things that we have is like we put like in WhatsApp with the little stars to make it bold, and it's like work talk not important or whatever. So, but yeah, I know you're very good at switching off in the evenings and saying that's a tomorrow thing, and weekends as well. You're very good at protecting weekends.
I do from the point of view of response to business, like clients, things like that. Yeah, definitely. But I do work in the evenings, but that's why, because another distraction, especially if you write or anything where you really need to concentrate, and I guess for you guys, it's when you're editing and things like that where you really need to concentrate. Your emails can be really like just distracting. So that's why I switch off the kind of email side of my work, because a lot of my work is a lot of emails. And in the evening, and that's then when I write. So if I've got to write a proposal or I'm writing a press release or something like that, because I actually work quicker and I get it done and it's quiet. I'm not distracted by the boys either if they need me because they're asleep. So I actually do stretch in my day where, yes, I do work evenings, but Chris and I also tend to try and do the same evenings. And that works really well, because then that does mean then when we're not, and we're completely each other, you know, available. And I mean, I say that he's always on his phone, but he never stops working, poor sod. But yeah, that would be another one of my tips as well, is actually, I don't mind working in the evening if it means I'm going to get some stuff done, do it quicker, and it's going to be really good quality as well. Yeah. Because I feel like I know when I've rushed something, or I've been distracted in the middle of something, or it just doesn't flow as well, or, you know, whatever. So yeah, but that's just years of getting it right or wrong or learning, you know, and that's kind of, God, that was a really long answer. Sorry.
No, I think it was great.
Waffling away.
I pretty much agree with all of it. Like, to be honest, the same. Like, I find that if I reply to emails bitterly through the day, then it takes up the whole day. So I try and block my out of office sort of, I've received your I say out of office, it's not. It's more like an I've received your email. So everyone gets that sort of, I'm acknowledging that I've received it, and it says like 3 business days. Now, I normally reply way before 3 business days, but I try and set it so that I reply to my emails maybe every 2 days, unless it's something urgent, so that I can block out times and go, okay, in this period of time, I am solely responding to my emails, and then on this day, I'm in creative mode. So it helps me split it up, and I find that I'm so much better in terms of time, because if I reply to every email when it comes in, many, I can't even remember when I was in Australia, but it was a very long time ago. I spent like 3 weeks out there, and I was in a completely different time zone. So all of my emails came in while I was asleep. So I would spend 1 hour just replying to all my emails in one go, and then everyone was asleep, so I didn't have a single email come in for the rest of the day. My mental health from that was amazing. I mean, also I was having 3 weeks off on the other side of the world, and it was summer, and like, it was fabulous. But that taught me so much about, actually, people can wait, and so it can all be done in this one time, and then the rest of the day can be spent being more productive on other things. So I'm not perfect, don't get me wrong. I'll still reply to things in the spur of the moment, but it's something that I've definitely tried to bring across because it was so helpful at the time.
I feel like you, Connor, are not very good at work-life balance.
That is true. I am not. No, but I think that's just partly just because of how I am. Most of my like flow state, when I'm in an editing mode, most of that comes in the evening. Like I can really get down, knuckle down on an edit that I've been putting off and do it, you know, in a couple of hours in the evening. Whereas if I did that during the day, I'd be like, I'll do something else.
Shiny thing syndrome.
Literally shiny thing syndrome. So
I love that.
This thing looks more appealing to me than the thing I actually have to do.
Yeah. So yeah, evening time, I sort of dedicate to like a little bit of editing, but any sort of admin, like literally last night I had a photo shoot inquiry, and they called me at like 9 p.m. to ask if I'd booked the studio, when it was actually their responsibility to book the studio.
No.
Yeah, fun. Not fun. Not fun at all.
Don't do that, people.
No.
Let's just put it out there, like, to the world. Don't do that. That's not cool. No. Granted, I might be up doing some sort of work, but when it comes to like admin side of stuff, exactly.
Shutting it off.
Yeah. I can't believe that. That's mental. I mean, I have had previously, I've had like clients email in the evening, but if I'm honest, it's usually because it's a campaign thing. It's something that's going on right then, right, like, you know, so there's always those exceptions. But I mean, especially when it was their responsibility to book the studio, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Come on.
The audacity to call as well. Like,
oh, I wonder if that person's listening right now.
I hope so.
They will know. I can't remember how long it's been. I think it's been a couple of years now, but I've actually got 2 phones now so that my work phone goes off because I really struggle with if my phone beeps, I'm like, I have to know what it is. So I leave that one out of the way so that it's just not pinging at me. And that has helped. I mean, actually, to be fair, I think I'm so hot on telling people what my boundaries are that people don't seem to do it anymore, and it's less of an issue. But a couple of years ago, that phone was going all day, every day. So
no, I think you definitely had to kind of set those boundaries. I remember the stresses. So so I think so boundaries is another thing. Be really clear with people. You know, and just, you know, some of my clients as well have said to me, like, they used to work weekends and now they've really stopped and made sure that they keep their weekends for their families or their partners or just for themselves even. But really kind of just allotting that time, because then you'll come back to work raring to go, and, you know, you've got that kind of, I've had my time off, I've had my mental space. So I think for so many reasons now, people are really kind of being more self-aware, and I hope employers as well. This isn't just for anybody that runs their own business, but I'm you know, it was such an, it's, well, probably still is, but it's such an issue in the PR industry, like the whole work-life balance thing. The expectation on teams, no matter what level you are, you know, it was, I mean, we used to be doing pitches at like 2 a.m. still, like sending them for approval to your boss. Like, it was crazy. Like, you know, it was even like still writing a pitch on the plane once. Like, you know, it was
I remember you telling me.
It's like, I think that was literally how I spent most of my days, was just writing pitches. But yeah, I really hope that, you know, people are listening and taking on board the importance of giving people that work-life balance, no matter what. I mean, Chris is a boss. He's a wonderful boss. I'd love him to be. If I was working for someone, I'd love Chris to be my boss, because he really is very thoughtful. And I love that. He always really thinks about the team and gives them, you know, sometimes a bit extra. If they've worked really hard on something, he'll kind of give it back in another way. Or, you know, so I think that all of those things are really important. But I think also the thing is to ask, speak up,
say what you need.
You know, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling you're struggling, and if you do work for yourself, then speak to someone else, speak to a family member or a friend or something, and, you know, just feel like you've got to let it, you know, kind of speak about it, and then make a plan. Make a plan and stick to it.
And prioritize the things that you need, like personally need. Like, I know that if I put things like, there's like family priorities and wanting to be there for your family, but there are things that I might specifically want for me, like, you know, I want to spend an hour in the bath scrolling through TikToks or something and just have some like downtime. And I have my Japanese as well. And I'm like, actually, if I book that in at 10 o'clock on a Monday, it's the first thing in my working week. So then I don't actually start work till 12. Also another reason why we don't speak probably on a Monday morning. But, you know, it's really important for me to work out that if I push the things that are important for me in my life balance till the end of the day, they're the things that sometimes often get pushed off. So I try and prioritize those as early in the day as possible so that they're done. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I mean, it's been a wonderful session as always, but I think we'll definitely have to wrap it up, managing our work-life balance, of course, knowing that we need to go off and have some playtime.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, we'd definitely love to hear your thoughts on maybe how you do your own work-life balance. Like, put some comments below for us. Give us what your top tips are, or what is it that you struggle with, and we can come back with our thoughts and see if we can help you. And And as always, if ever you need any advice on any of your business needs, whether it be something for photography, something for PR, videography, podcasting, you name it, you can ask us. So just connect through our websites. All will be in our comment box below, but we'd love to hear from you. And your feedback. It'd be nice to have some feedback from people. Like,
leave us some comments. Tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah, and also thoughts on topics as well. If there's a topic we've not yet covered, we're going to be here again next week. So we'll happily have a look at what those topics are, and hopefully cover them in an episode for you. So we look forward to hearing from you. But that is it from me.
And from me, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Diaries of Badass Bosses. And we will be back filling your ears with audio joy next week.